Yo, it's Sam from Cultaholic. Ross isn't in today, so you've got me for your lovely edition of Bumper Weekend News. Let's have a look at all the headlines. First up, WWE released 2 superstars. WWE is attempting to ban talent from online third-party platforms. And which new AEW star did WWE try and swoop in at the last minute and steal with a contract offer? So I guess we start off this week with some pretty sad news. There I am, 9:30 last night, just about ready to play Tony Hawk, when my phone goes mental and I open it to find something shocking. WWE have parted ways with Akam and Rezar, the authors of Pain. The pair burst into the company at NXT TakeOver The End alongside their manager Paul Ellering, smashing American Alpha into dust. It wasn't very long after that they won the Dusty Rhodes Classic. They then went on to win the NXT Tag Championships, debuted on Raw, got rid of Ellering, which was just a weird move in my opinion, and then became Raw Tag Team Champions. Most recently they were put alongside Seth Rollins as his enforcers, but a bicep injury to Rezar in March put a stop to all of that. And now we get to the news of them being released, and to be honest, I think while it's a little bit scary, it could be a blessing in disguise. Now the reason I said it could be a little scary is because while both guys have come to the company from, well, one from an MMA background and one from an amateur wrestling background, in the pro wrestling world, they're very much a product of WWE's Performance Center. Now people are released all the time under different circumstances, but the last time a big tag team that was NXT homegrown left, I think that was Enzo and Cass, and it's sort of, I think Cass in an interview was talking about how hard it is to make it in the indie world when you come from the Performance Center. You don't have any contacts, you don't really have anything out there other than the WWE people that you know. I'm not going to say that that fate is definitely going to befall the authors of Pain, it was just a little worry that had been poking in my mind. But there is one thing that could turn the whole thing around in my opinion, and that is sort of based in the fact that earlier this year, Paul Ellering said he was supposed to be coming back to WWE, but it wouldn't be happening anymore due to COVID. I think if you got Paul Ellering back with the authors of Pain, gave them a new name, and you don't sign them anywhere, you take them from company to company, you just let them go on a tear. You have them become the top heel, territory style, have them driven off, go to the next company. Go and go and go. Just build them, get tag championships, tag championships, tag championships, take them all the way around the world, and then the one place people want to see them most will probably be AEW, so go there last. But I think with Paul Ellering at their side, they could really turn into a modern day Legion of Doom. So yeah, we of course don't know what the hell the plan is next for them. They might be sick of wrestling, they might not want to even think about wrestling, they might just want to go back to punching people in and grappling on people's heads and stuff. But you know, if they did want to stay in wrestling and they could get back with Paul Ellering, then they would still be one of the coolest tag teams out there, the most menacing looking tag teams out there, and they'd still have the coolest manager going, so could be a win. Now it's no secret that both sides of the Wednesday Night War would get a kick out of tripping the other side over and nicking its lunch money, and WWE apparently took this to a whole new level recently when they offered a contract to Eddie Kingston after he'd appeared on AEW Dynamite. So speaking on Talk is Jericho, Kingston revealed that WWE had actually tried to initially sign him in 2016, but they told him, you know what, you're going to have to hang fire a little bit, we've got to get the contract away, we've got to do all of this stuff, it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks, but we really want you. And he was in a situation at the time in his life where he wasn't prepared to wait around for that, and so 2 days later, he signed for Impact Wrestling. So fast forward to July 22nd, 2020, and Kingston makes his debut on Dynamite, and it was, I think, going off the interview, supposed to be just sort of like a spot, just turn up, dip your toe in it, if you like it, we'll have a conversation. After that, AEW were like, you know what, come on, we'd like to have you back for more dates, but they weren't the only company that reached out to him. WWE apparently jumped straight in with an offer. Jericho put it down to just the general rivalry between the companies, but Kingston was like, no, you know what, it was more in line with, I think they wanted to sign me to a coaching position because they brought this up to me before. Just going to paraphrase an excerpt here from Kingston. To be honest to them, they were trying to get me to coach for years. But my thing was, and I told them, I can't collect a paycheck if I didn't earn it. They were like, what do you mean? And my thing was that I was going to go in there, coach, probably be bitter and angry about coaching and not getting a shot. And these guys, they love wrestling now because they're at the Performance Center. Now they started talking about other things besides coaching. So I had to weigh my options and I came here. I told a couple of people, hey, look, competition competition, hit me up. Just letting you know, I'm not begging for a job. It's very hard for me to play this supposed wrestling political game. Then the next thing you know, Christopher Daniels just goes, hey, here's a contract. I was blown away by the reaction. He goes on to say, I went, okay, enough. Now it's time to go to work. It's time to make AEW money. It's time to be a top star. Whatever it is, it's time to go, and that is it. Personally think Kingston made the right choice there. I think he's going to be more of a featured player in AEW, but that's never going to stop us thinking, what if? Now, WWE have turned a lot of heads in the last 24 hours regarding a ruling involving third-party online platforms. Raj Giri of Wrestling Inc. has reported that WWE held a call with talent last Sunday regarding the regeneration of WWE's product as a whole. Apparently during the call, it was stated quite flatly that WWE owns the real names of the talent, not just their character ones. I mean, that's odd on several levels. I don't know if you can actually own a person's real name, can you? I thought that was something you definitely couldn't own, but it gets spicier. It gets spicier because on Thursday, Vince sent a letter around. So the letter goes, furthering my comments last Sunday regarding the reinvention of our product, it's imperative that we promote and protect our brand in every conceivable way. Some of you are engaged with outside third parties using your name and likeness in ways that are detrimental to our company. It is imperative that these activities be terminated within the next 30 days by Friday, October 2nd, and continued violations will result in fines, suspension, or termination at WWE's discretion. These actions are necessary in order to rebuild our brand as we enter the next phase of growth at WWE. I thank you for your cooperation in this matter and for all of your efforts toward the rejuvenation of WWE. Vince. So this is leading to some questions. What constitutes a third-party platform that WWE doesn't want to work with? Is Twitch going to be okay? Is Cameo okay? Like, what exactly is it? If you could specify, we want to find out what exactly is it that the wrestlers can't do. But the thing here is that you cannot have your cake and eat it. If you want to tell talent, you know, you can't use Twitch, you can't do this, it's not good for the company, we'd rather you did it here, we'd rather you did this, and they set up their own platforms or whatever. If you want to do that, employ them. You're posting record earnings and then complaining that somebody like The Miz or AJ Styles can go on Twitch or Cameo, make a few extra grand in a month. Are you high? Even bloody Roman is on Cameo. Yeah, he's made about 60 grand since he started his account on there, but you can't expect independent contractors, and independent contractors is a you thing because you said that. They don't work for you, they're independent contractors. You can't expect them to forgo a chance at making some more money on the side. I know they're not just day laborers. I know that they make a hell of a lot of money. I know that there's merchandise tie-ins. I know there's all of that stuff. But I mean, you're posting record profits, and if this is about Cameo, like 60 grand to you is nothing. 60 grand to Roman might still be nothing, but it's probably going to mean a lot more to him than it would to a faceless corporation worth billions of dollars. If it does include Twitch and it does include Cameo, it's predatory to an insane degree here. But I'm not just going to be one-sided here. I do understand both sides of this situation. Apparently the straw that broke the camel's back was Lana posting adverts for an energy drink on her Instagram account. Now, if you are a corporation that's in bed with several massive multinational sponsors and one member of your roster, your talent base who appears on this show sponsored by those brands, is promoting another brand that's not affiliated with them, then it becomes a conflict of interest, then it can become a legal matter, then it can become all sorts. But then does it if they're independent contractors? I don't know where the law falls on this stuff. But there is a very real problem there when it comes to advertising things and sponsorship agreements already in place with WWE. That's just going to be something that has to be dealt with. But if it does extend as far as, say, Twitch, it's just going to alienate a hardcore audience that watches that stuff. They watch that stuff, they buy into the people presenting. Those people are your talent. They are people that appear on your shows, and they're sat there hyping stuff up, and the people watching are going to watch the show. It's another form of advertisement. It's also just going to piss a lot of people off in the locker room, man. Like, everybody streams these days. Like, everybody. You just get with the times. So people, of course, took to Twitter to voice their concerns. I got a few of them here. Renee said, guess now would be a good time to launch my Twitch and Cameo. And then her and CM Punk had a nice bit of back and forth. Punk then tweeted out, like Blanket tweeted later, are they going to fire everybody? Just keep doing you, don't worry. Paige, however, took to Twitch and just changed her account name. So she's no longer Paige on Twitch, it's just Soraya Official. So this could be something we see more across the board with everybody who's streaming on Twitch. I don't know what the hell's happening. I'm assuming that Twitch and Cameo are going to be fine and that this is just a reaction to Lada advertising the energy drinks, but I don't know. And finally, we have a change to the card ahead of tonight's AEW All Out pay-per-view. Tony Khan has moved the tooth and nail match with Britt Baker and Big Swole from the buy-in pre-show to the main card of All Out. He tweeted, "Hey, let's just make All Out tomorrow night the best wrestling pay-per-view we can possibly do. Now on the main pay-per-view card, Dr. Britt Baker versus Big Swole in the first ever tooth and nail match, emanating from Dr. Baker's dental office. Anything goes, no DQ and falls count anywhere. See you tomorrow." The match is rumored to be cinematic in nature, and the fact that this move has been so last minute suggests to me, maybe, like in my head, they were waiting to see how it looked once it was edited, and then, you know, if it was good, move it to the main card. I think that they must have seen something in it and been like, this is too good to have on the pre-show, we have to bump that up. So, fingers crossed. This does leave a pretty big hole in the buy-in pre-show though, but Big Tone has sorted it. Instead of Tooth and Nail, we're going to have Private Party versus 3 and 4 of the Dark Order. Just a reminder as well, we will have all of our usual coverage for AEW All Out. Adam will be live streaming tonight. And let's, you know, if you haven't been paying attention to what's going on tonight, let's have a quick look at the card. So, running from bottom to top, and I need to just change the paper here because I pasted it in wrong. We have the buy-in, which is Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn versus the Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds. We have Tooth and Nail match, Big Swole versus Britt Baker. We've got the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. We've got the Dark Order, Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno and Grayson versus the Natural Nightmares, Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky. There's a Broken Rules match between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara, and if Hardy loses, he has to leave AEW forever. We've then got the 21-man Casino Battle Royal, and I'm just going to run down the names here. Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston, The Blade, The Butcher, Phoenix, Pentagon, Sean Spears, Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn, Jake Hager, Santana, Ortiz, Chuck Taylor, Trent, and TBA. The winner of this also receives a future shot at the AEW World Championship. But we move on to the Mimosa Mayhem match, which is Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. The match can be won by pinfall, submission, or by throwing the opponent into a vat of mimosa. There's the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega defending their titles against FTR. There is the Women's Championship match, which pits Hikaru Shida against NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. But Hikaru Shida can't win Rosa's belt, but Thunder Rosa can win Shida's. So, ooh, some interesting stuff could happen. And then finally, the main event, we have Jon Moxley versus MJF in an AEW World Championship match. And Moxley's paradigm shift finisher is banned. So yeah, it's going to be a hell of a card. As I said, tune in. Adam will be streaming live tonight. We'll have all the usual stuff, what happened at. We probably have graded and everything for it as well. Graded for SmackDown is going to be just a tad later today. As you can probably tell with Ross being off, I've had to write news. I can't write to save my life. I'm absolutely shocked at it, so it's taken me far too long. But I'm going to watch SmackDown now, get it sorted, and hopefully it'll not be up too late for you. But as always, hope you have a lovely weekend. Hope you stay safe, and I'll see you again soon.